back to my channel, and it is very ridiculous for me to see Elrufai calling someone evil. If it was people like Obi, Showore, calling Tinubu evil, then I would say, okay, yes, you guys have the moral right, local standard. But you mean an Elrufai? Same Elrufai? The guy who, under his watch, saw what we call ethnic cleansing come out to say, well, there's absolutely nothing he could do. The man was so remorseful, but you all will understand why this man is so scared. Okay? Yesterday or 2 days ago, Tinubu met with Shagumi. And just 6 hours later, Shagumi now is saying that he stands with Tinubu. An unprecedented turnaround. Maybe Tinubu because Tinubu is the current president, I don't know. But it is shocking because we know that so many days ago, about last month, Shagumi cried out that Tinubu wants to go into what? An alliance with the Mossad to start buying all the Islamic fundamentalists in this country. But here we are today, fast forward into August, September, and now Shagumi is singing. You can see the video over there. Tinubu now is ready to campaign. Even bandits go vote Tinubu. Because this is crazy. We all know who Shagumi is. We all know that Shagumi has the command and controls of the bandits. For negotiation, just to be specific, not as if he is the one commanding them in the forest and the bushes, all right. But what we know is Shagumi contacted these guys and paid them ransoms under Buhari. Hence, he was a starman in the banditry industry. All right. Surprisingly, today, these machineries that did not bank on to destabilize the government of Tinubu, unfortunately, are now singing on your mandate, to my surprise, to your surprise, to everybody's surprise. And this is why you see Elrufai come out and tell you that Tinubu is an evil man. That Tinubu wants to remain there and be the president for life, just like Paul Biya of Cameroon. First and foremost, Tinubu cannot spare. Yes, maximum what Tinubu can do is 8 years. Because if Tinubu intends to go beyond 8 years, it is the Yoruba people that will rise up against him. Yes. Because when Obasanjo tried it in 2007, the same Yoruba people, of which Tinubu was amongst them back then, rose. We all know that as far as Nigeria is concerned, the political agitators, okay, those that are political sagacious, the most in this country are the Yorubas. All right? And I'm not here to market or to promote anything. But you have to understand that that is the reality. Tinubu cannot do more than 8 years maximum. If he gets lucky to scale through, if they not do the mistake because of their greed, because of their lack of trust in the Igbo man, okay, this will happen to them. It's for sure that Tinubu will win if they fail to just lay low and say, okay, Obi, you will get the ADC ticket. Tinubu, without a doubt, in fact, before 12 noon, don't be surprised, all the Igbos, all the Middle Belters will go and queue for him. So it's as clear as ABC. So that cry, spare me that. Enough of the demonization of Tinubu. We all know Tinubu is bad, but come on, you look at yourself. When you point one finger at your opposition, you have 4 fingers. Are your 4 fingers, are they clean? Are they not stained with blood? Innocent Christian blood. We also what happened, how international communities, how Christian associations, how you even failed the security check in the National Assembly, whether it was politicized or not, but your statements, which are incendiary and inflammable, we all know what it is. Now, on the issue of Shagumi, I don't get, waiting Tinubu they wahala. Waiting Tinubu they go do with Shagumi. Like, is Shagumi the one looking for Tinubu, or Tinubu is, because for me, okay, Shagumi is one of those persons that should have ceased to exist in this country. But again, Nigeria is a place whereby if you have too much sense, you'll be seen as a madman. So you are expected to do some crazy things at times because the people in the country, they themselves are crazy. All right. See, and this is why so many people are just, is Tinubu the one sponsoring terrorism? I don't know. But for me to be seeing Tinubu and Shagumi in Kaduna, I know that there is probably something going on politically. Because I know Tinubu has always been a part of the North since the period of 2012. Immediately the APC was formed. Shortly, APC was formed, insecurity was, started. We started experiencing security everywhere. So perhaps he knew that, okay, the game plan could be to mobilize Shagumi, and then Shagumi will mobilize his bandits, you know, and before you know it, his government has been crippled. So instead of him to go into the boys alone, he has called the head of the what? Of the snake. Like, guy, come here. You this. Perhaps that is what he had. But we know that Shagumi is an Islamic fundamentalist. Shagumi is one person who, in earnest, wants to see Nigeria become Sharianized. Well, I know that whatever the North are plotting, it will continue for fall flat for as long as they are not ready to push their weights behind the southern candidate. And I know that Shagumi might unfortunately still remain in existence if he comes out and say, well, I will push my campaign for Tinubu. Unfortunately, if he does that, my brother, Shagumi will be like the likes of Tompolo, wherein they'll start getting government contracts. I mean, what's the difference between Tompolo and Shagumi? In the early 2000s, all through the era of Obasanjo into Yaradua, I mean, Tompolo was labeled as a terrorist. Yes, he was, because he was bombing, blowing up, national infrastructures. But at the end of the day, the yikes of Yaradua and good luck said, okay, you know what? Let us have a treaty. Let us have a peace deal. And we know what happened today. Tompolo gets $4 billion, 4 billion naira contract or pay on a monthly basis. And I know these are the things that the northern bandits are looking at. Like, if a Tompolo can be getting 4 billion, Tantita Group can be getting 4 billion, then they too can get something similar. I know this is a thing. And this is how Nigeria will continue to be run, unfortunately. Whoever gets in there, you cannot just say that you want to end Fulani banditry. No. Why? Because the northern politicians are what are driving them. Now, on the contrast, you see the IPOBs. The IPOBs are failing, okay, because the southeastern politicians are not supporting that cause. They are not supporting that cause. But the issue of the Fulani banditry, it is a political tool in the hands of the northern politicians. They use it to what? To pressure the whatever administration that is on board. Go check it out. Go check out the amount of money Buhari allocated to Fulani bandits, repentant bandits. Go check it out. All through his 8 years, I think he started that program, if I'm not mistaken, in 2016 by Buratai. And then, ever since then, nothing less than, I think, close to like 100 billion on a yearly basis. So if for over a period of 6 years, over almost 1 trillion has been, allotted. I mean, to rehabilitate. I mean, so you see that these things are what Tinubu saw. He has stopped the funding of the rehabilitation of bandits. He has said, let me go and see Shagumi. Perhaps Shagumi and myself will be able to sort these things out. Perhaps there'll be a way out. Okay? And it's just funny to me because I just know that we can no longer, we shouldn't continue to always be at the beck and call of the North. We shouldn't. Like, the ultimate solution to our problem in this nation is balkanization, or total what? Decentralization of powers. If that is not done, unfortunately, another southern president will get there, the banditry will rise again, and then they start bribing them, start doing what we call non-kinetic approach, paying them, paying for ransoms, tell them to go to TV. Oh yeah, you just gonna say that, okay, we did this, please don't disturb us again, we are no longer. Those things are just what? Dramas. We know that for a fact, this government, they really need to succeed and to be what? To be sustainable, they must approach the Nigerian problem with a restructuring agenda, a decentralization agenda. These are the only viable solutions, the viable eternal solutions. And that's it. Well, let's listen to Elrufai, what he has to say, then we'll continue our analysis.
And honestly, sadly, to me, it's a disgrace. I mean, for people to behave the way they are behaving. So it means that all the years of saying we are for democracy, we are Nadeco, it was all pretense, it was all fake. And all the claims that we are fighting for true federalism and so on, it's all fake again. Yeah, because this government is trying to centralize everything instead of devolving power to the lower levels. But the sum total of this is that we are facing an evil of such a large proportion in the history of this country that if we don't all come together and end this Tinubu administration by 2027, Tinubu will try to be our Kolbia. He will be president for life. All the signs are there. This is how Kolbia stands. Yes. Yeah. All the signs are there. So we don't have a choice. And you are our leader. You have done this fight. You have fought the military. You have experience in democratic governance. And when you and Obasanjo are in charge of this country, no one has been imprisoned because he has different political views.
Absolutely not.
Never, not once. Even President Buhari, with his military background, never did that. And here we are facing full-fledged civilians. But they are worse than any military regime we ever had. So your call that we must unite is a timely one. I think the people of Nigeria, sir, have made up their minds that this government must go, APC must be voted out. What the people of Nigeria are looking forward to is us. We must provide the leadership and the unity of purpose that we've talked about. And I'm sure with your leadership, with your forbearance and your diplomatic skills of bringing people together, I'm sure we'll reach the promised land. As for me,
so, well, anyway, I know you're not the kind of person who is scared that will not, confront this situation. So, the more reason why, we should come together to confront this situation headlong.
Absolutely.
And make sure that, one, it doesn't happen anymore during the remaining part of this administration.
Yes.
And secondly, like you said, we send them out by 2027.
Yes.
And not through any other thing else, but through the ballot box.
Yes.
We have had very, very...
Welcome back. That is article in Elrufai's, in Elrufai's abode. You see, it is hypocritical when I look at the likes of article. You, article, that you've laid ambush for my principal, Obi. You've laid ambush for him. Your banners everywhere across the south. We cannot find the poster of Peter Obi there. What can be more evil than a man who perpetrates inequality, unfairness, and injustice? Please tell me. Just tell me. And for Elrufai, everything you said is well noted. What remains is do the right thing. support Peter Obi. When you do, fine. Your dream to see Tinubu out will come to fulfillment. Because in this country, we must understand that no incumbent can be set off if is what? Is region, and which is in this instance, I mean North and South, if they are not ready to kick him out. If you take a look at the scenario of Jonathan, it took that overwhelming conviction that the South took. Jonathan must leave. Not until then, Jonathan wouldn't have lost the election. And equally, we also why Tinubu became the president. It was because, okay, the North voted massively for him. It's as simple as that. If they want someone else to defeat Tinubu, the South must vote against Tinubu, period. The North might even vote, they might still vote for Tinubu. But if the South, significantly see the right thing being done in ADC, the whole of South and the Middle Belt will, of course, have Tinubu packing by 12 a.m. on election day. But like I've always said, the North will fall for the trap Tinubu has set for them. He knows they are greedy. He knows Peter Obi will be the guy that will be his joker. And once again, Tinubu might just have his way. Whether through regain or not, it doesn't matter at this stage. If Atiku will not do the right thing by stepping down. Because for him to run, it simply shows he's a bigger evil to the Nigerian democracy, as it were, supposedly. Thank you. Bye for now.
You are most welcome. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to bless your leadership. Alhamdulillah, we are our dear brothers, our leaders, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward ainihin wato al'umma mu da wannan kasa gwamnan jihar Kaduna wato shugaban majalisa dattawa sauran wanda suka kawo shugaban kasa da wata yamma da kowa bayan kowa duk kuma ya zo da don wani ɗaggaki ko ka Ahmad Tinubu ya nufi shagora Allah ya ba shi hukumin adalci ya zama sanadiyyar fitanmu daga wannan hali da muka samu kanmu da shi. Da lafiya a gama lafiya wannan ya nuna kima da daraja nan ya nuna rana duk wanda ya koma wa Allah Allah zai yi wa mashi. Daga ta abu da yare. Security is